Important things about writing your report is getting good diagrams and getting good quality diagrams into your report. So one of the easiest ways is to use the lecture notes because they're already available, and it's much easier to draw diagrams in PowerPoint and cut and paste them in to a Word document than it is to draw it in Word. Word is much less robust when it comes to diagrams. So if you start a new PowerPoint presentation, which is the little icon up here, we select to have just a blank sheet. Okay, so make sure you save that as an appropriate name, and you can use that as your picture file. If then you go back to lecture notes, if we then just select the diagram, we can copy and paste that into our diagram, and then we can use that to alter how we want and change the bits of diagram that we feel that we want to change. Okay. Once we've done that, and we want to use the whole of the slide, we can then select the slide here in this view, click copy, and then go to our Word document that we're using to write the report. We'll open up the report, and you see here that I've got some text in there. So what I can do is, once I've got my finished thing, is I can edit, choose paste special, and choose enhanced meta file here, picture, and then that gives us a nice diagram in there, and we can write text text above, or we can start writing below, and we can also move that diagram about, and you can't change the diagram, but once it's there you can move it about much easier and it stays how it's supposed to look. If you want to change it, you go back to your original diagram, change it, and cut and paste again. It's a much simpler way of getting that to work. If you want to use tables in your report, which is a useful thing to do, the best thing to do is to use that in Word. So go to Table, Insert, Table, choose how many columns you want and how many rows you want, which you can always change later on, and then you can use that to put appropriate data, whatever you want in there. Okay, that's a much more effective way of doing that. The other thing that you need to bear in mind when you're doing a report is that when you come to save it, if you're working in an advanced version of Microsoft Office, you might have something called DocX. So when you come to save it, you'll see here at the bottom it will say DocX. It doesn't want to say that because university systems can't read that, and it means that there might be a problem in marking your work. So you need to choose Save As Type there, and make sure you choose from the list Word document. Yeah, not RTF, not DocX, anything else. Choose Word document, or if you can, save as a PDF file, but document is fine. What I want to do is to draw a process diagram, and the best way to do that is to do that in Microsoft PowerPoint again. Here, down here, we can choose lots of different shapes to enter in. Here, we can choose to have no fill, and we can either add text into the box, so that would be as so, because it's no good having a diagram if you haven't got proper labels, or you can also just decide to add those underneath, and then once you've got one box, you can cut and paste and create other boxes and so forth, etc. And then when you've got your completed diagram, then you can cut and paste that, as we showed before, into your Word document. It's dead easy, and it doesn't take that long, and it's much more robust than using the Word document. Obviously you can also use all the different shapes that might be relevant if you're doing a bit more advanced. It's even got a flowchart button here if you needed to look at some particularly different ones.